Yep, Super Bowl just days away, NBA trade deadline just hours away. So we got our front office insider, Bobby Marks, with us to break down what could happen as we count down to that deadline. All right, Bobby, so I think about this deadline, and Monday night we saw Klay Thompson benched again during crunch time. He lamented post-game his own slippage of skills. So, Bobby, he's a free agent after this season. It stands to reason that the Warriors could at least look to move him. How likely is it that we see Klay Thompson move ahead of tomorrow's deadline?
I would say unlikely, but there's something that the Warriors front office has to consider here. The loyalty factor, 4 championships with Curry, Thompson, and Green, and then what's best for the organization. That is hard to balance here because normally a team that's out of the play-in, who's got a player on the last year of his contract, and you can get trade value. A team like Philadelphia could certainly use him as a shooter, next to Tyrese Maxey. You would be looking for trade offers. I don't see Klay Thompson being moved by Thursday here because of that loyalty factor here. But you do have to balance as far as what's best for the organization moving forward.
Wow, loyalty, not a thing you always hear about in sports these days, right? Especially around the trade deadline. By the way, Thompson averaging less than 18 points per game this season. His lowest since his second season in the league. Okay, so from one of the worst teams in the West to one of the best teams in the East, the Knicks, they have been on one since the calendar turned 2024. But Julius Randle's out with that dislocated shoulder. Bobby, how can they improve their roster without moving any of their core players?
Well, this was the roster that was last night in the win against Memphis. And they've got 2 things for them. They're their biggest 2 trade assets. Health. Sprained his ankle last night in the game. Jalen Brunson. We've got OG Anunoby and Julius Randle out still here. But when you look at their resume as far as what they have, second best record since January 1st. Here's what to keep an eye on. Evan Fournier. Last year of his contract's got a team option for next year, $19 million, not part of the rotation. Can you flip the Fournier contract for a player perhaps like Malcolm Brogdon, who's got another year left? 8 first-round picks over the next 7 years, 11 seconds. They've got the trade assets to go out and do a deal, or do you become patient, wait for that next big all-star to become available this offseason here? But New York is well-positioned. They're like Oklahoma City in the East. Well-positioned playoff team to maybe go out and get another player in the next couple days here, or they can sit pat. But at the end, it all comes down to, if you don't have a healthy Anunoby, Randle, and certainly Mitchell Robinson, now add Jalen Brunson to that mix, I've got concerns for them moving forward.
Okay, all those years chasing stars and the cupboard far from bare right now when you look at New York. By the way, 4th in the East right now, and you mentioned how close they are to second, just a game out of second place. Bobby Marks getting us ready for the trade deadline right here on SportsCenter. Thanks, Bobby.